Hi, I'm Andrew, and welcome to the Neon Knitter. This is going to be episode 13 of the Neon Knitter podcast. And yeah, so I have a finished object to share with you guys. I have one whip and I have one acquisition to share. So this might be a shorter episode, I'm not sure. But before I do that, I have a couple of housekeeping notes to kind of mention. First off, Happy New Year 2024. Hope y'all had a good holiday season. I would like to quickly mention the big elephant in the room here, my microphone. So, I got a microphone for Christmas. Did not ask for this, I just happened to get it. This is what it is. And so I decided to go ahead and try it out. Rather than using the microphone built into my phone, I thought I'd try this. Hopefully, I don't know for sure, but I'm hoping this will reduce the static you hear in the background of my videos, because I know there tends to be a lot of static in my videos. And I sincerely apologize for all the static you've had to listen to when watching my videos, but hopefully this will reduce it. I know it's not the most eye-catching thing to have on me, but hopefully that'll reduce it. So I did a little bit of playing around with it before sitting down to film, and it seems like it works pretty well. So yeah. And if at any time my audio just cuts out, I apologize. I don't know how long this thing takes to charge, so because I just took it out of the package today, so I don't really know how it works too much yet. So just experimenting still, so just thought I'd let you know that I do now have a microphone to hopefully reduce the static in my videos. Okay. Now, let's get into the knitting content. So first, I'm going to share my finished object. This is the Saltmarsh Cove by Laura Ayler of Fogbound Knits. I finished this maybe a little more than a week ago, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago I finished this, maybe a little less than that. And yeah, so first I'll show it to you and then I'll talk about the yarn. So this is a DK weight t-shirt. Here I'll slightly sit up so that you can see where it hits on me. So it hits about here on me. The side has garter stitch detailing on both sides. And then the back is plain stockinette as well as the front. So, yeah. So the yarn I used is from a Whimsical Wood Yarn Company. I'm not sure where I put the labels, so I can't show you the labels, but it's from a Whimsical Wood Yarn Company. It is her Mermaid Mischief DK. It's a blend of merino and nylon. And it is in the colorway 90 in a 55, which is a Stephen B. custom color for an event they had back in November. So, yeah. All right. So, now I'm going to move on to whips, because that was my only finished object I have to share with you guys. Well, actually, I do have another finished object, but I'm not going to be sharing it today. It is my Geo Gradient shawl. I finished it on January 1st. I am very excited about it. My Clue 4 video will be coming soon. I've already filmed the video. I just haven't gotten around to going to model the shawl yet, and I want to put those photos at the end of the video. Hopefully I'll do that this weekend. No guarantees. And I had not yet unboxed my microphone, so my next video will not have it. But yeah, so that is that. Now, my whips. I'm going to talk about them. I only have one whip, and sorry, I'm just pulling my yarn labels out of my bag here, and I'm going to pull the yarn out so you can see it. Let's see here. Yeah. My yarn is a little tangled up here, sorry. Bear with me. There we go. Sorry, it was tangled around my bag handle from the bag it was in. Okay. So this is my newest cast on. I cast it on the day after I finished my Saltmarsh Cove. And this is another short sleeve t-shirt. I haven't put the sleeves on yet, but this is Duet by Kristen Finlay of Skein Yarn. And I am loving how this is going. It's a free pattern. So basically you knit, actually you start with knitting the back part of the yoke, and then you bind off all your stitches. Then you pick up your stitches on one side of the shoulder, you cast on for the neck, and then you pick up stitches on the other side of the shoulder. And then you knit the front part of the yoke. And it's got some short row shaping for the shoulders. It's German short rows. You might be able to tell that they're there right now. I'll have to block it to make the tension work out. And then you knit the entire front, you bind off. And then after you bind off, you pick up into the bind off to make this exposed seam. And that's really fiddly depending upon how tight you bind off. I could have probably bound off looser, but I bound off pretty tight, so that was pretty fiddly to pick up into that. And then you have a second color that you knit for the rest of the body. And then there's ribbing at the bottom of the body, and there's ribbing on the sleeves, but the neckline is just rolled like this. So, yeah. So the yarns I'm using, this is currently what I have left of my solid color on the top. And I think I'm one of the first ones to use a variegated yarn on the body. I think most people use two solids. But anyways, this is Haiku Madrona in the colorway Wild Mushroom. Oops. Haiku Madrona Wild Mushroom. 30% baby alpaca, 30% merino wool, 20% bamboo viscose, and 20% nylon. 460 yards. And I should mention this is a fingering weight garment. You guys might remember this yarn from my Geo Gradient shawl. I used a different colorway of this yarn. I used the Firethorn Berry colorway in that. So, yeah, and I enjoyed working with it, so thought I'd use some more of it. And then, my contrast color, I have two skeins of. This was yarn I bought at the St. Cloud Spin Fest last year. This wasn't. This was yarn I picked up at Knitwise Yarns in Nakusa, Wisconsin when I visited my grandparents. But yes, this is yarn I bought at St. Cloud Spin Fest last year. I got it actually in the actual yarn shop that's at Rocking Horse Farm, the one that they have open year-round. And this is from Hand Painted Knitting Yarns, HPKY. And I'm pretty lucky to have this yarn. This company went out of business years ago, and they just coincidentally had two skeins left of that. I don't know how many years old this is, but it's quite a few years old. This is their Merino Nylon Superwash Sock Yarn. 75% Superwash Merino, 25% nylon, 435 yards, and the color is called Aida. A-I-D-A. So, yeah. But I thought it was so pretty I had to have it. You guys might remember when I made my video from the St. Cloud Spin Fest last year that I was going to make the Monica Geller tee by Sari Nordland. I have since realized that if I want to make the body an appropriate length for my personal preferences, I would need a third skein of it, which I cannot get. So I realized I would need to find a pattern that used a contrasting color. So maybe someday I'll make that pattern. I mean, I already bought the pattern for the Monica Geller tee, so maybe someday I'll make it when I have a yarn that has a little more yardage. But I wanted to have a t-shirt that I would be comfortable enough to wear that wouldn't be too cropped for me, so I went with this so that I could be more confident in making the body the length I would prefer to have. And it's a free pattern, so I mean, yeah. And I would have paid for this pattern, it just coincidentally happened to be free. I wasn't specifically searching for free ones. Excuse me. So, yeah. So that is the Duet Tee by Kristen Finlay. Yeah. Excuse the rustling. I am moving on to acquisitions now. And my acquisition is in this really big Michaels bag. So this is some yarn that I had asked for Christmas that I successfully got. So let me just pull these out of the bag. Apologies for not doing that before starting to film. I probably should have. All right. So I'm going to start with this one. I have had this particular cake of yarn in my stash since 2017. That's when I bought this at Michaels. Excuse me, I probably should have drank water before filming, but I did not. This is Caron Cakes, and the color was called Lemon Lime. Yeah, Caron Cakes in the color Lemon Lime. And so this is really pretty. I like it. I just have not found a project for it. And they don't make this color anymore. I bought it on clearance when I got it in 2017. So I'm assuming you're all familiar with Caron Cakes by now, but in case you're not, they are 80% acrylic, 20% wool, 383 yards. Medium weight number 4, worsted or Aran. Yeah. Hand wash, lay flat to dry. Yeah, I've had this yarn so much that I could just rattle that information off without reading it. So, yeah. But I've had this cake since 2017. I haven't figured out what to do with it until recently. I just figured out what to do with this. So, I took a trip to Michael's at the beginning of December. And I looked at the yarn, obviously. And I saw that they had this. Now, I had never seen solid cairn cakes before. Excuse me. Yeah, I'd never seen a solid cairn cake before, and so I was kind of excited to see that. Now, cairn cakes are not a yarn I would typically purchase, um, because I don't have a lot of usage for self-striping cakes of yarn. I just already have this in my stash. Um, and when I'm going to make a solid colored garment with a color like this, I'm probably going to buy a nice wool from a yarn shop or something. I tend to save my acrylic big box store yarn purchases for yarns that are like fun variegated yarns or something that has like a cool coloration to it and not something solid. So, but nonetheless, I saw this solid cairn cake. This is the only solid it comes in. The color is called powdered sugar. It's kind of an off-white color. And so I saw it and was like, oh, I have an idea. I could take a solid cairn cake and pair it with a self-striping cairn cake, and I could make a colorwork yoke sweater. So the colorwork yoke sweater, my plan is to cut apart the colors and use them as separate little balls of yarn. That's my plan. I'll tell you the pattern I'm going to do in just a second here. So yeah, so I thought that would be a fun idea. So I have 5 of these. And I'll be cutting the colors apart on this, pairing it with this. I haven't finalized the order I'm going to put these colors in, but since it's going to be kind of a stripey sort of thing, the 2 darkest ones are going to need to separate the 3 other ones because these 3 are too similar to each other. So I'm going to have one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, and then one of these to kind of break up the monotony of these 3. So, yeah. But anyways, the pattern I'm going to be doing is the Foresta Umbra sweater by Dario Tubiana. And it is from the Knitter magazine. I forget which issue. And that's the only way you can get the pattern. Lucky for me, my local library happens to have the e-edition of that magazine, so I was able to just check out the e-edition from the library and just screenshot all the pages to put in Knit Companion. So, yeah. But yeah, that is my plan with that, is to make the Foresta Umbra by Dario Tubiana. I don't know if it's Tubiana or Tubiana, but anyways, that is my plan for that. So, yeah. So anyways, that is all I have to share with you guys. This is very clearly a shorter episode, only about 20 minutes. Because I don't have a lot to share. I just wanted to show off my new t-shirt, and I really wanted to try my new microphone. So, yeah. So comment down below, how is my new microphone working? What do you guys think? Is it making the audio any better? But yeah, that's really all I have to share with you guys. So I'm Andrew. Thank you for checking in here at the Neon Knitter, and I will see you in my next video.